Lisa Schnebly Heidinger is celebrating Arizona with lots of interesting people, so you'll hear wonderful voices with new stories. Grab your favorite drink and settle in. We're celebrating Arizona, going everywhere from A to Z, and we're off.
Welcome back to Celebrating Arizona. I'm Lisa Schnebly Heidinger, and I'm excited for a lot of you who have not yet met Mitch Strohman. If you've ever been in Northern Arizona in the past 40 years, you've probably at least heard his voice or heard his name, because when I met him way too many years ago, he was on the radio in Flagstaff and has moved over to NAU Athletics and NAU Television and has been the voice of Northern Arizona for, gosh, 30 years? How long?
Oh boy, Lisa, I've been in Flagstaff now for 35 plus years.
Okay. So that long, yeah.
Yeah,
The
that long.
voice of
It
Northern
it
Arizona.
certainly has been a minute, as they say.
Well, I was there when the minute started then.
Yes,
We
you
were
were.
we were part of a very small press pool, and it was wonderful, and since then, I've mostly gotten to see you at NAU events and homecoming parades and things like that. And you are woven into the fabric of Flagstaff and NAU,
I'm
and will
humbled by
always
that.
be.
I'm humbled by that, Lisa. Thank you so much. It's
Oh.
great. It's great, and it's an honor to be with you here on this. It's. I don't know what I'm doing here, but you feel like I'm worthy to be a part of this, so I'm here. When you call, I answer.
Oh, thank you. Well, I know you're worthy to be here because 'cause I'm here. So yes, we are. Okay, so we generally start with kind of the same question, which is each of us who love Arizona, and you wouldn't be here if you didn't love Arizona, have a start. Now, your wife started by being born.
Yes.
Tell me how your Arizona started.
Oh, boy, it's so long ago now. It's the memory is so still so clear, Lisa. It's remarkable.
Why?
I well, I came here in Arizona to live and to work as this very young, less gray, a lot thinner, young broadcast journalist back in 1986. I was looking for a job out west. I was from the Midwest at this time. I had gone to college in Minnesota and had started my broadcast career out of college in the upper Midwest, in South Dakota and in Iowa. And my parents, who lived in Kansas City at the time, they
Oh.
relocated to San Diego, California.
Oh.
So I'm a map guy, and I had one of those old travel map books that
Mhm.
you buy for 20 bucks, and it's got all the states in it, and that
I
was one of my
remember
favorite things
those.
that yeah, I kept it in my car at all times, and I remember going out and grabbing my map book out of the car and looking at San Diego and looking around at different locations around San Diego because I at that time, I didn't think I'm not good enough to get into the San Diego market. That's not gonna happen for this young guy still in my 20s, and I said, "Well, okay, this is Arizona." This is interesting. I love Arizona, been through Arizona, have gone to the Grand Canyon, been through Phoenix and Tucson over the years,
Oh, wow.
visiting, yep, visiting, traveling through, stopping, exploring, but I wasn't familiar with living in Arizona. So I mean, I look at the border, Lake Havasu City, that's interesting, and I look at the border, Kingman and Bullhead City and Yuma. I thought, "Well, I wonder if there are any jobs out there." Those are pretty close to where my parents are gonna live in San Diego, right? So, I just picked up the want ads in the broadcast industry and saw that there was an opening for a news director at this little radio station in Lake Havasu City, Arizona.
No, I have known you this long, and I never knew you started
Yep,
your Arizona
yep.
career in Lake Havasu?
I answered a want ad. Remember want ads? They
Dimly.
used to be a thing, and, I answered the want ad, and I picked up the phone, and I cold called the station, and the station owner, a great man in Arizona, he's a Hall of Famer, member of the Arizona Broadcast Hall of
Oh,
Fame,
very
Lee
well, yeah.
Shoblin. He answered the
Okay.
phone. Yeah, and I am like, "Hey, I'm Mitch Strohman, I'm a journalist, looking for a job, da da da." Kind of introduced myself, and next thing you know, we're hitting it off on the phone. And he's like, "Well, let's meet you." So yeah, I mean that turned into me being hired as the news and sports director at a radio station, the number one radio station in the Colorado River Valley at that time. Relocated to Lake Havasu City, got my feet on the ground as a broadcast journalist and a sportscaster, and from there, just kind of somehow managed to make a little bit of a name for myself out there in Lake Havasu City, covering news, covered some pretty big stories, a couple of big ones that kind of, as they say, put me on the map in
Okay.
this industry in Arizona, several
Do
in
you remember
particular.
any of those?
Oh, I do. I do. In fact, one of the things that really put me on the map was during the Evan Meacham administration, Governor Meacham, right?
Yeah,
And, you might recall, I know you do, that he was impeached here in Arizona by the Arizona legislature.
absolutely. Yeah.
He learned of his impeachment by the House of Representatives, that the bill of impeachment had been sent to the Senate, right, for
Yeah.
the trial, while he was flying to Lake Havasu City for a Lincoln Day dinner event in which he was the
No.
keynote speaker. I am not making this up.
So you got him first when he found out he'd been
As soon as he got
impeached?
off the plane. Back in those days, this was pre 9/11, you could walk out on the tarmac
Oh
and,
my
be so I'm out there
gosh.
with my microphone and my cassette tape recorder slung over my
Sure.
shoulder, and I'm on the tarmac, he gets off his plane, walks down the steps, and I'm right there, and I'm the first person to ask him, "So, Governor Meacham, the House of Representatives passed a bill of impeachment. Do you have a reaction?" And he kinda looked at me incredulously, like he couldn't believe it really happened, and he gave me some great, great sound bites. I got some amazing sound bites, which went not just across the state
Wow,
in
I
all the major markets, but
bet.
it went regionally, it went to LA radio and San Diego radio
Oh
and Las Vegas, 'cause
gosh.
that was a big story nationally that a sitting governor
Yeah.
had actually been impeached and it was happening for real. So that kinda put me a little bit on the map, and then from there, I got a job offer in here in Flagstaff to become the news and sports director at a radio station up here called, KAFF, CAF Radio, which is, still a major player in the, Northern Arizona media market for radio. Came up here, worked here for about 4 years, and then got an offer to go to Phoenix and play with the big boys in, Phoenix radio at KFYI Radio. I was, assistant news director there for 2 years, and then CAF gave me a call one day, Lisa, and said, "Hey, what would it take to bring you back up to Flagstaff?"
Oh, good.
And at that time, my wife and I had our son at that time was born in Phoenix in 1992, and we just made that decision to come back up to Flagstaff, a place that we loved deeply and dearly. We were up here for 4 years and came back in 1994, and Lisa, haven't left since, and probably I don't know if I ever will. I mean, this has been a place where I've raised 2 kids and have had the opportunity of to be a part of this incredible mountain town and this amazing university for all of these years.
And both of them truly are. In a vacuum, I would
Mm,
always be within the shadow of the peaks,
yes,
always. And to get
absolutely.
to live there is just perfection.
And
It's
it's
just
it is.
marvelous.
I've always said to people who ask me, "Why have I stayed in Flagstaff and not gone to another bigger market or so?" And I've had offers. And the answer for me is, why would I ever wanna leave here? It is
Yes.
arguably one of the greatest cities in the United States. It has perfect climate, all 4 seasons,
Yes.
natural beauty that you literally cannot count, all the natural beauty aspects that there are up here.
Yeah.
Accessibility to Phoenix, if you wanna get out of the
And so
snow,
many other
it's
kinds of beauty.
exactly. It's
Reservation,
Red Rocks,
canyons,
the
and other yeah.
reservations,
Yeah.
canyon, close to Phoenix, close to if you wanna
Yes.
get out of the snow after getting 36 inches of snow, we had,
Yes.
a couple of winters ago in a storm. I just drive 50 minutes down I-17 and I can go play a round of golf, or I can go to Phoenix in 2 hours, you know?
Yeah.
Close to my sister and family in Southern California, drivable. It's perfect. It's
Yeah.
perfect. For
It
and it's got that
really is.
small town atmosphere that I so dearly love.
Mm, making me miss it even more, and I
Ah,
wasn't sure that was possible.
I didn't mean to do that, but I
No,
understand
it's
it.
okay. It's a good it's just what, Wesley Powell, John Wesley Powell
Yes.
said at a camp, on the river, I think the last night with his men, "It is a feeling so sweet, it's almost a grief."
Yes.
And
It
I
is.
just thought of that. So, all
It
right,
is.
we are going to break, and then we're gonna come back and talk a little bit more about what you did after you got to Flagstaff. Be right back. A jewel on the Arizona Dine 250 passport is the Turquoise Room in historical La Posada over in Winslow. Every meal I've had there has been perfect in the gorgeous beam ceiling dining room created by Harvey designer Mary Coulter. Hopi inspired items, a sumptuous vegetable plate, along with elk and bison, craft cocktails, unique desserts, add to the experience. Just outside, trains pass, and you feel era transported. So, Mitch, I want to hear some of the things and places that have the biggest hold on you here in Arizona.
Oh,
Where do
boy.
you love?
Oh, where do I love? I think the better question, Lisa, might be, where do I don't love? I because I love it all. I
Wow.
love it all. There's actually from the urban heat island in central Phoenix along the Central Avenue corridor to the top of Humphreys Peak, the highest point in the Grand Canyon State. I don't know what I don't love about Arizona.
Wow.
It's in my Arizona, it's in my chromosomes now. It's gone to the DNA level within me. I absolutely love this state from stem to stern, north to south, east to west. But if you're going to really try to get me to pick something or some things that really grab me the most, I would probably start with the Slot Canyon area in the Vermilion Cliffs National Monument area up on the
Really?
northern Arizona, southern Utah border. In that area, north of the Grand Canyon, there are so many incredible and so stunningly beautiful places that I have had the privilege and the blessing to be able to explore on foot, with mountain bike, and those areas just they just grab me right in my soul.
Oh,
Um, I would say a close right up with that would be anywhere in the Red Rocks around Sedona.
ah,
I
yeah.
cannot get enough of that ever, and that's any time of the year. Winter with
Oh,
its own
yes.
unique feel to it, to the summer when it's, 101, 102 degrees and the heat's on and, the visual elements there and the visual aspects of that are just they're so fulfilling at a very deep level. I absolutely love Chiricahua National Monument area in southern Arizona. Yep,
Really?
have a real love for that. One of my favorite places, I think, is Bisbee. Big fan of Bisbee.
Ah,
It used to be Jerome, but Bisbee is like Jerome on steroids to me, right?
I completely agree.
Does
Yes,
that make sense? I
absolutely.
mean,
Oh,
it's yeah,
definitely.
you take
Yeah.
Jerome and just amplify it a little bit, and then you've got Bisbee. It's such a cool place,
I
and
called Bisbee Jerome's big brother. So,
yes,
yeah.
that's it. I love that. That is perfect for that. I love the valley. I mean, I love Tucson, where my wife was born and raised. The old pueblo is so gorgeous. San Javier del Bac, the mission there is one of the very first places that my future wife took me to when she was bringing me down to
Oh.
Tucson to introduce me to her family
Oh
when we
my
were
goodness.
courting each other, and it was right at Christmas time, and
Oh.
so was able to go into the mission while they were holding a candlelight mass.
Oh.
I oof, was gone. I never want to leave, right? So there are so many places around the state that grab me, but some of those I think I would put at the top of my list. They'd be on my so-called Mount Rushmore of things like that, that grab me at a very, very deep and personal and emotional level and will never let me go.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, I have always said, and giving speeches, people will come up and say, not frequently, but sometimes, "I'm a 4th generation Arizonan," or something like that.
Hmm.
And I say, "Well, that's great." I'm not, because my great-grandparents came here. My grandfather, their son, had been born in Missouri. Daddy was born in a sanitarium in Colorado because his dad didn't want the kid born at home. So we're not, longtime Arizonans, although people think we are. But to me, an Arizonan, and for every three who move in, two move on, the Arizonan is the person that viscerally bonds to something in the state. Those are the Arizonans. And everything you
Mm.
just said was reinforcing once again, you are an Arizonan.
I'm so honored by that. I
Well,
am. Because I'm like you. Yeah, I'm a transplantee. Good grief! I was born. Is it okay to say this on this? I was born in Southern California.
well, everybody's to be born somewhere. You couldn't
Right?
help that. That's
I
not your
was
fault.
right. It's not my fault. And I was born in the Los Angeles area. Actually, to be perfectly technical on that, I was born in Hollywood, California.
I'll be
Yeah, and then
darned.
grew up across the country, Lisa. My dad's job took us literally from coast to coast and many, many places in between. I had the
Wow.
opportunity as a young man and as a child to see and experience literally almost every single different kind of place and culture in this country, and then landed in the upper Midwest in Kansas City and the Minneapolis metro area for high school and college, and then hit here in, like I said, in '86. Done. Uh, Sign me up, Arizonan. How do I
Isn't that
where
marvelous?
where do I sign up to be called an Arizonan? And now when people ask me, "Hey, Mitch, where are you from?" And I say, "Where was I born?" or "Where do I consider myself to have my home?" And they'll say, "Well, where were you born?" "Well, Hollywood, California." "Oh, wow, really?" "But I'm an Arizonan." That I'm from
Absolutely.
Arizona now. I'm from Arizona. That's the way I feel. That's the
Yes.
way I have in my body, is that I'm an Arizonan. So thank you for saying that. It makes me feel
Well,
really good.
it's true. And T.C. Schnebly, that came out and named the road and named everything else, was born in Missouri.
Mm,
Again, not his fault. But Arizonans are people like you and like TC who don't just get it, but love it.
mhm.
And I love that you love some of the less well-traveled roads.
That's my favorite.
I have not spent time in the Slot Canyon country on the Arizona Strip. I've been to Kanab and, those others, but I've never hiked to them. I've never good for you. Man.
Love the less traveled road. That has called to me since I was a kid. Since I was a kid. I would always, when we drove around and drove across the country, moving from here to there, East Coast, West Coast, and all that, I would always look at, that exit and go, "Where does that go?" And "Where does that road lead?"
Really?
Those type of things grab me, and Arizona is perfect for somebody like that has that sickness like I do, because there are so many lesser traveled roads
Yes.
to explore, and I don't think you can explore them all in a lifetime, so I'm good right now with Arizona.
Oh, Larry was a big he called them blue highways, where
Yes,
it's 2 lane and yeah, and loved the blue highways. I don't know if you've been down to Duncan and Fort Bowie in the past year or
been through
2.
not in the past year, but I've been through there previously.
Okay. Well, they replaced their blue highways with these unbelievable 3-lane freeways. And you think, okay, this was a park project for somebody. And wow, are they ready for hundreds of thousands of people to live in Southeast Arizona? I don't know why those roads are there. But you're right, there's every kind of road in Arizona,
There is,
and everything from a dirt track all the way up, and I love that you love all kinds. That's just
including this place where I'm sitting at doing this interview with you right now. I have to say that because Northern Arizona University also infected my bones. Uh,
mm,
and it has become not just my place of employment, and it's not just that. It's not just my job, my career being the head of NAUB, being the voice of the Lumberjack football and basketball teams for all these years. It's an institution that people come up to me, Lisa, and they say, "So, hey, Mitch, when did you graduate from NAU? What year are you?"
ah,
Right? I get that all the time, and I didn't graduate from NAU.
because it
This is
seems like you did. I
it
completely get why they
exactly.
ask that.
It's like I this is my and I've said this publicly for a long time, Northern Arizona University is like my adopted alma mater, okay?
Perfect.
It's my
You know what?
adopted alma mater.
We're gonna take a break because I wanna share an AU story. So hold on to that, and we'll be right back. Another passport treasure 250 site is the Gallery in the Sun. Famed Arizona artist Ted DeGrazia built this gem in the Catalina foothills above Tucson to live and paint in. Thousands of his art pieces share space with adobe construction vignettes, his massive metal gate, murals on plaster, garden areas delight the senses. It's a National Historic District site with sculptures and textiles echoing the Sonoran Desert. And now we get to talk more about NAU.
Mm.
Yay! Mitch, you were on campus. I've worked there. I was there as a freshman, and then I worked there for Clara Lovett, 99, 2000 era, I guess 96 and on. And then again doing the NAU book, 2013, 14, 15. And every time I was there, you were there. And, well, no, not Clara. Clara? No, you were there.
Yes,
You were at
yep.
CAF.
I
Were
was
you
a
at
calf,
NAU?
but I was working as the voice of the Lumberjacks doing
Okay,
doing
okay.
NAU football and basketball on TV and radio for the
I
university
thought
at
you
that
were
time.
there
Yeah.
in
Mhm.
'99. Alright, so you were doing CAF and NAU.
Yep.
And one of the things about NAU, every once in a while you hear, "Oh, they're gonna name all the state universities ASU North, ASU South, ASU Central, whatever." And I used to get really upset about it, and then I thought, "Okay, it was Normal, Arizona State NANS, and then ACTU or whatever." Anyway, it doesn't matter what you call it. It is what it is, even if you call it Cincinnati. I mean, the institution is not gonna change based on what the name is currently. And I love how much you love NAU because it's part of my heart and soul and bone.
Well, Elisa, NAU is to me, it's such a critical piece of the very fabric and the texture of not just Flagstaff, where it exists, bricks and mortar wise, but all of Northern Arizona. It really is. And this is no disrespect to our sister institutions based in Tempe and Tucson. They are equally as vibrant a piece of the state of Arizona as NAU is of Northern Arizona. But because we're a smaller community in Flagstaff and a smaller community in Northern Arizona broadly, NAU has a much more powerful and profound presence
Yes.
in the day-to-day existence of Northern Arizona. ASU's part of a giant 3,000,000 plus metropolitan area. Tucson's over 1,000,000 people in its metro area, and the both of those institutions are huge. But here, we're a small town. Even if you kind of factor in all of Northern Arizona, we're kind of a small town in a way like that. So
Spread way out.
exactly, exactly. So
Well,
NAU has such a huge presence in
and
this part of the state.
that is so true. When I did the NAU book, and Larry, Daddy, and I went out to Saley and Window Rock
Mm.
and small towns where they have branch campuses. NAU is responsible for so much of what all of Northern Arizona needs and is and provides. And Tom Whittam, that does the gradient gardens up by the ice caves and not meteor crater, the cinder cone
Yeah.
on.
Oh, Sunset Crater,
Thank
national
you,
monument.
Sunset
Mhm.
Crater. Yes,
Yep. One of
yeah,
my
and
favorites.
all of that is part of NAU,
It is. It
and
really is. NAU, it's like NAU is the hub of a pretty sizable wheel in northern Arizona, and the spokes come out of NAU and go through to Flagstaff and Winslow and Window Rock and Kingman and, Prescott Valley. And now it's, there is
yes,
a statewide presence, obviously, with NAU now, with the biomedical campus downtown that it shares with Bay and
yeah.
other facilities around the state. But still, at its heart, at its soul, NAU kind of is Flagstaff in a way, and Flagstaff is kind of NAU in a way. And that's why one of the things I love about it.
Very well put. Louis McDonald was an NAU grad, probably in the 40s, and he became the ambassador who would go to all the little towns
Hmm.
and recruit new students. And I think that NAU being in a small town makes it kin to all the small towns. And certainly plenty, I mean, I was a Tucson kid. Plenty of big city kids want what NAU offers too, but it has a copious lap for all the small towns and the larger cities. And God, yeah, just a wonderful, wonderful place. This is not important probably to anybody, but I at least get to share it with you because you won't tell me it bores you, I don't think. In the NAU book, I got to interview Arizona's only Hispanic governor, Raul Castro, who I'm
Yep.
sure you saw at a million events that you emceed, and you probably
Yep.
gave him awards and shook his hands and God knows what all. And he, when he was a student, studied in a group with Jerry Emmett, who was Carolyn Warner's best friend, who lived to be 104, I think,
Mm.
and with Ellsworth Schnebly, my grandpa. And the three of them studied together. And there are so many amazing people who have passed through NAU. And then that reminds me of Diana Gabaldon
Mhm. Correct.
and another great old Northern Arizona person and family. And Babbitt's doing things all over the area, and it's just suffused in wonderful people.
In 1991, I was working at CAF Radio as the news and sports director there, and we had just come forth and past a traumatic event worldwide called Operation Desert Storm. You might
Oh
recall that.
gosh, yes.
And after Desert Storm concluded, Lisa, they had a welcome home parade for the troops. And that was all over the country. But we had a big one in Flagstaff. And NAU TV at that time, which at that time was called CNAU, approached me and said, "Hey, we're going to broadcast live on local cable in Flagstaff the Welcome Home Troops Parade from Desert Storm. And we need an announcer. Would you be willing to do this?" And I said, I'd be honored. Absolutely. Where do you want me to be? And they produced it live on local cable. That was my first working for NAU. That led to Yes, it was.
Really?
And that led to them saying, "Hey, look, we're gonna do football and basketball games on local cable. Would you be interested in being the play-by-play voice, being the
Oh,
voice of NAU
oh,
football and basketball?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, where do you sign me up? Here's my pen. Give me the deal, and I'll put my John Hancock on there in a New York minute." And, that was I called my first game in '91, NAU football,
oh,
and one of the greatest and most profound privileges and honors in my life was to be known as the voice of the Lumberjacks for football and basketball and to do things like announce the homecoming parades, be the announcer for NAU commencement ceremonies in the Walk Up Sky Dome, work for this institution, for NAU TV, running its department. And now that, I've hung it up and I've retired, and it's time for me to begin that phase of my life, I have that forever
yeah.
in my soul to lean on as I grow older and they get ready to put me into the old broadcaster's home at some point, whenever that is.
That's beautifully put. And you are always going to be every bit as much a part of NAU as NAU is going to be of you.
Thank
And I'm excited for your future grandchildren that you
you.
get to be retired and are going to get to be around them as much as Larry was around my kids. Because I've said before, you remind me a lot of him, and I think that they will benefit tremendously by having you with more free time. I think that some things happen perfectly, whether or not it feels perfect at the moment, but
Well,
boy,
you
are you
know,
gonna love that.
Larry is not in the past tense was a big part of my life. He is still in me today. And for you to say that about that man is more of an honor than I can possibly express in words. So thank
Thank you for everything, and now I'm gonna cry, so you know what? We're gonna leave on a happier note today.
you. we're
I've
both
never
gonna we're both gonna cry. I'm just-
I've
oh
never ended a
boy.
podcast as a puddle. This would be a first, but, too much fun to be with you, so I won't. Thank you, 1,000 thanks.
Thank you,
And I
Lisa.
hope
My honor.
I hope you will come back in the future and
Anytime.
talk about side trips and day trips and other things.
I plan on having a lot more of those in retirement now. That's for
That's
sure.
what I was thinking.
And
Perfect.
I'm there for you anytime, Lisa. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Celebrating Arizona indeed.
We'd really like to hear from you about anything this show led you to think about. Write to us at celebratingaz.com. The wizard behind making a conversation into a podcast is Tom Heidinger. The music comes from Daniel Blatton, and I'm Dana Cooper.